Previous class, we look at how to add classes to our tags. You need to know that you are at liberty to choose whatever class name you want to add to any tag. Just like in our case, we added a blue class name, and then we also added a red class name, just like we also added custom paragraph. Any name, but it just makes sense to add a name that is descriptive on its own. When people look at it in the style section, they already know what it does. So by looking at blue, you know that this should only give us blue and nothing else. If you look at red, then this should give us a red color and nothing else. Then custom paragraph can define as many CSS elements or attributes as you want. Now, in this case, if you notice that class is just written here, the implication of using a class in HTML is that a class can be applied to as many as possible HTML tags. Now, let's take a look at that. We have class to be equal to blue here. We can just change the last paragraph here to blue also. So what this means is that within our style section, wherever there is a class name called blue, it's going to give you the color blue. So you don't need to constantly or consistently add in blue to every single tag. So once you add a class to be equal to blue, so this is going to apply whatever attributes you have within or property you have within the blue style. Now I have added blue to this first paragraph. I have also added blue to the third paragraph. So we expect that these two paragraphs should have blue colors. So let's reload our page and see. Yes, that is applying correctly. So if we want to apply underlining to all of these tags, so because we already have a custom paragraph that defines text decoration to be equal to underlined, we can simply add this name, which is the class name, to all of the tags we want to have underlined. Because P class equal to blue, we have added a blue class to P, to the first P. We can add as many as possible class names. So by separating each of them with a space. So we have blue space, then we have blue, type in a space, then put in the second one. So this is going to apply blue class and blue and a custom paragraph on this particular tag. So we're going to do that to the third one also, a space, then you have this custom paragraph. So I want to add that also to the H1. So you're going to say H1 with a space class name to be equal to custom paragraph. So what this means is that it's going to have custom paragraph applied to all of the tags on the page, and the custom paragraph is defining text decoration to be equal to underline, meaning that all the text on the page should be underlined, and that is it. So but we don't want the header to be underlined, so we can just remove this from the H1 and then reload our page. So we have every other thing underlined except the first one. Now, the difference between a class and an ID is that class can accept as many as possible names, but ID cannot accept more than one name. So in this case, I'm going to say that my H1 tag should have an ID to be equal to H1. So we have this ID to be equal to H1. Always remember that you cannot have more than one ID on a page. You cannot have more than one ID on a page. You can have as many as possible classes, but an ID can only take one name, and that will be the only one on that page. So in my style section, I'm going to add ID. So if you remember that we normally tag classes with a dot, IDs are tagged with an hashtag, which is hash, then the name, which is H1, and then follows the normal process, the normal convention of H1. We want H1 to have the font size of say 60 pixel. Now you can see the main difference. Classes take a dot and IDs take an hash. So that is the major difference. And then classes can take as many as possible names. but IDs should take only one and one ID name. So I'm going to reload that page. So we have this to take the particular font of 60 pixels. So that's how to add H1 tags, or that's how to add classes and IDs to whatever tag we have on the page.